And we are live. All right. Mr. Don, again, since we're live, I got to repeat the process. Welcome to Top FM 105.3 on the platform. I beg to differ. We'd accept everything you say, and then when we differ, we tell you that. Sorry, sir, we beg to differ. Uh, that is what we do here. See, my panelists, when we are going live, that when they ask me, are you live? Yes, we're live. Please come on. They're texting me, Mr. Don, asking me if we are live. Yes, you just got the text that we are live. Anyways, at this time now, I want to go to the Veteran Smith. But before I do that, I want to let you know we are live on the radio in Zwedru City, Northeast Liberia. We're also live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our website, www.topfm.com. So these are the platforms that we are streaming on live at the moment. I want to go now to Mr. Veteran Smith, who will introduce himself. And then if he had to introduce you, that'll be fine. If not, he will introduce himself and turn over to you and you introduce yourself to us. And then he will begin the questioning of the show. Veteran Smith, it's up to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Archie Wright, and thank you very much to our many listeners. We are privileged at Top FM 105.3, I beg to differ, to have, he has so many titles that he wears. So for the first time, I would call him Ambassador, Honorary Ambassador, M.L. Lafayette Dunn. We attended the same school, St. Patrick High School, and also my former school happened to be Lakiri Mission, although he did not attend Lakiri Mission, but he holds the position as executive director of the Lakiri Baptist World Alliance, Lakiri Baptist Missionary Convention, as head of the Lakiri Baptist Missionary Convention. He holds that title. And so I give him greeting both ways with Pap, my former school, Lakiri, and now St. Patrick. He also one time served as keynote speaker. So he is very busy with so many titles, so many hats. Welcome to I Beg to Differ, Honorable Ambassador, Executive, Chairman of the National, let me make sure I get the title correct. National Committee of the Honor Diaspora Conference, and welcome to I Beg to Differ. This is your first time appearing on the show. I mean, at one time I was on ABC. He appeared there. So this is the first time. Okay, call out the microphone. Yeah. So this is the first time he appearing. Please call out Chris. Chris, call out the microphone. I'm hearing myself. Okay. Yeah. So this is the first time that he's appearing. I Beg to Differ. So welcome, Ambassador Emmett Lafayette Dunn. Welcome to I Beg to Differ.
Thank you, and thank you for having me, and I look forward to a robust conversation to your panelists, your co-hosts, and your listeners worldwide. Thanks for joining, and thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Go through your bio, but it was so much, I will leave out some. So let me just give some, and then you can add some for our today discussion. For people who don't know you, you're chairman, you're Reverend M.L. Lafayette Dunn of the National Planning Committee of the Liberia Annual Diaspora Conference. You also had the Lakiri Baptist World Alliance as the executive director. You also on the board trustee of Race Institute. You also Reverend, have a church in Baltimore, Maryland, which you will talk about more. You're also a philanthropist. I mean, someone who always willing to give a project. And the one that struck me the most, where I wanted to focus on, is that you part of beside the Independence Day Orator of 1978, which you serve, you are committed to Liberia, which is an evidence of your leadership through initiatives like Empowerment Square Liberia, where you are helping to establish Liberia Learning Center, a pioneer in educational resources, offering library services, digital literacies, and academic support to the undeserved community. You also gave scholarship. The reason I highlight these aspects because we could talk about orator, we could talk about everything you have done, but nobody know that you give back to community and all of these things. People will leave it. Or you also marry 3 children, all of that. So my welcoming you is, how are you able to do all of these things? You're Reverend, you're man of God, you wear so many hats. How are you able to do all of that? That's my I want you to add to what I left out, then you answer that question.
Well, thank you, my friend, Brother Smith, and also want to say greetings to Mr. Wright that just joined us. Um, some of my responsibilities have shifted. I no longer pastor church full time. I work for the Lord Carey Foreign Mission Convention. I've been the the CEO for that organization for the last 7 years, and I'm privileged to say that within that organization's 128 years of existence, I am the first non-American born to lead that organization. And I say it not to brag, but I say it because Liberians who may be listening, I just want us to know that no matter how your journey start, it doesn't determine how it's going to end. That if you work hard and um, do all the right things, you end up in places that people least expect. And so, as part of the organization, as the chief executive officer, I manage projects in 14 countries around the world, Liberia being one of those. If you're familiar, you mentioned Lord Carey Mission. We've been in Liberia for over 100 years. Currently, under my leadership, we are building a brand new K through 12 campus in Bopolo, Guapolo County, to offer free education to the people in that district. We also engage in healthcare services. We provide water and sanitation in places like Sierra Leone and Guyana. We offer education opportunities in India and Zimbabwe and South Africa. So we're quite busy doing all of those things. In addition to that, I serve as the chair of the board of the Empowerment Square, the Liberian arm of that organization, which is based in Canada. And for those of you in Monrovia, you would know that we just recently opened and dedicated the Liberian Learning Center on the grounds of the Painesville City Hall. That center is designed and geared to offer education and capacity building opportunities to people from all walks of life, from kindergarten students to adults. And so when you talk about my engagement in Liberia, it spans many years. I no longer serve on the board of Ricks Institute, but I did one time serve on the board of Ricks Institute as well as the Liberian Baptist Theological Seminary, where I graduated and earned my bachelor's in theology. So my commitment to Liberia is to do everything I can to build capacity, to empower people, especially the youth and the young people, so that together we'll give back to our country.
I don't want to leave this all part of your bio. You also on the commission, the reburial of two our historical president, Toba and President Samuel Doe. I just want you to touch on that before as I begin my question, because that's important
Yeah.
part of your bio.
I was privileged to be appointed by the president, along with others of our citizens, to lead the conversation around the reburial of former President Samuel Doe and that of former President William R. Talbot. And I saw that as another opportunity and another sign, not only to work on behalf of the president, but also to serve as a sign of reconciliation. We all know the tragic uh, historical accounts surrounding both of those names that we mentioned, and for over 40 years, we've never talked about it really in the public space. And I just felt honored to be part of what would go down in Liberia's history as a pivotal um, a mark in the president's reconciliation process, healing the wounds of the past, bringing Liberians together as we move forward. While the past can be painful, in order for us to live in the present as we prepare for the future, the past needs to be dealt with. And I think I gave the president a lot of credit. It was a controversial move he made, but then leadership is controversial, so it comes to the territory. So I was privileged to serve on that commission as well.
So let's go into the questioning. How will you compare last year Liberia Annual Diaspora Conference under your leadership with this year called the National Planning Committee of the Liberia Annual Diaspora Conference, which you serve as chairman? How will you compare both?
Well, we can't begin to compare since this one has not gotten off the ground. But what I would say is that the last conference, in my estimation, we experienced a degree of success because one, Liberians from all walks of life came together to answer the president's call um, to engage those of us who are living outside of our borders with those inside our borders. And there have been some significant outcomes to that. And we're hoping to build on that. One of the ways that we frame conversations around the annual conference is that we send out surveys. And the one for this year's conference has not gone out as yet, since the conference was only named, as you know, Fred, was only named last week. And so the first step to doing this is to send out a survey to all of the diaspora networks throughout the world, asking them to weigh in on conversations they would like to have. And one of the myths that I want to correct tonight is that all of the topics that were discussed in last year's conference was not topic given to us by government. We have a scientific survey that we sent out, and we have well over 1,500 respondents coming back. And out of those, we chose the top four to deal with, meaning reconciliation, education, healthcare, and investment. And again, we'll do the same thing and see what comes back to us. Because if this indeed supposed to be a conference that is to empower and build capacity among our diaspora communities, they need to be involved from the very beginning. So I would say there will be a lot of similarities in the process, but I'm sure the outcome will be different based on the responses we get from the survey.
And I can imagine last year conference, your presented to the president or to the government a report or resolution of the success of last year. What were some of the things you recommended, and what impact are you all getting?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we did not give any resolutions. We have to be careful with the word resolution, because resolution carries with it responsibility and implementation mechanism that we do not have as a conference, but we did make several recommendations to the government, and some of which are being worked on as we speak. One, and the president even mentioned it at the conference, was that a formal commission be established that will um, encapsulate the ideals of the diaspora community. And I just got off the line just before I came on the show with the Director General of the Cabinet, the Honorable Nathaniel Quabo, discussing that issue. And he assures me that the president is putting together a commission that he will announce soon. Another recommendation that we made, and we're working along with some of our international partners, is to establish a diaspora fund. All right, a fund that all of us will invest in to help government implement some of our infrastructure development or other things that we would decide to do. I think that is quite important. We have some best practices that we can lean uh, on the continent. There are others of our African brothers and sisters who have been privileged to live outside of their homeland and are giving back through a special fund. So we're working on that. Another thing we recommended was that the Office of Diaspora Affairs, that is housed in the Executive Mansion, be clothed with the authority to be the the conduit by which we engage government, and that has been uh, confirmed. You know that Mr. Erasmus Williams was appointed to serve in this capacity, and quite recently, the Honorable Jackie McKay was just appointed as Assistant Minister for Foreign Affairs, and part of her responsibility is to seek the welfare, well-being of those of us who are living outside of our borders. So from those recommendations, we see that government has taken some actions and some steps toward the outcomes of the conference. It's an ongoing process. The conference ended in September. We presented a 72-page report to the president in December, and we're now beginning to work on some of the modalities so that by the time we reconvene this September, we'll be able to roll out other tangible outcomes of the conference.
This is my last question, then we'll go around to the panelists. You invited the Rwanda ambassador to be spokesperson at last year's conference, which was very unique based on Liberia and Rwanda went through conflicts, war conflicts. And what did he say his country impact in terms of the conference and in context of the impact it will have on the diaspora, where they were able to contribute to Rwanda, and now we can learn from them. By inviting you, what was your focus in inviting the former ambassador of Rwanda to speak at the first annual diaspora conference?
Well, yeah, in addition to him serving as ambassador, he was also the foreign minister of the Republic of Rwanda. He came to speak primarily on the topic of national reconciliation. And some of the things he said, I'm sure, are things that we already knew. But what he did was he contextualized it. He shared with us some of the things that they were able to do in Rwanda to cause them to be where they are today. But he also cautioned us that even though Rwanda may be experiencing a sense of peace, Rwanda has not fully healed. The kinds of atrocities that happen in Rwanda, as in the case of Liberia, we are not exempt, from that as well. The kinds of atrocities that happen in both countries, we don't heal overnight. But one of the things he challenged us to do was, if healing is to come to Liberia, it must be done by Liberians. We must engage in honest conversations that will take us back yesteryears when none of us on this panel was even, alive. We have to go back from the very beginning. And one of the things, if you remember in my oration last July 26th, I highlighted the fact that in order for genuine reconciliation to happen in Liberia, we must visit some of our historical landmarks, some of our historical policies, and some of historical engagement in order to fully get our hands wrapped around this whole idea of what it means to have a unified country. Not all of us doing the same thing, but united Liberian forward. We will always have issues. We'll always have, wahala, as we say, in our colloquial, but we'll always have to find ways to get under the Palawa hut and smoke that peace pipe. And that's the only way Liberia will return to a sense of national identity and unity. And that was some of the things he said Rwanda had to do. They were still struggling. Rwanda was consisted mainly of two major ethnic groups, whereas in Liberia, we have multiplicity. We have, the last count we had 16, 17 ethnic groups, and so we have to find a way to work together, in moving Liberia forward.
Thank you, Mr. Don. Thank you, Bertrand Smith, for starting us off. Now, as I said to you, Mr. Don, when our panelists join us, we'll bring them on and introduce themselves to you. Let's start with my producer first. Mr. Chris, please introduce yourself to the guests.
Sorry for that.
All right.
Okay. I'd like to say good evening and welcome. Let me say hello to Reverend Donald and welcome. This is Top FM. My name is Chris Beware in Zweju, Grand Jita County. Welcome to this Abeto D4 platform. Thank you so much.
And thanks for having me.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Mr. Amos D. Wright, can you please introduce yourself, sir?
Sure. Thank you so much, co-host and honorable guest. Let me start by saying welcome, and I'm glad I'm sharing the platform with you. My name is Amos D. Wright. I'm in Monrovia. Specifically this evening, I'm on a show from the northeastern Nima County city of Gompa, or Ganta, if you like. And I'm in the CSO sector. I want to learn more, and then when the time comes, I will know how to come in. But I think I just met the show on the top, so I want to learn more a little bit.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. And I love the bustling city of Ganta. I was just there not too long ago. And I always can be assured that no matter what time I arrive in Ganta, I will find something to eat and drink. The city is on the rise. One of the most.
There's a city that never sleeps.
It never sleeps. Yeah, I have to agree. I'm a Gwezombo myself, but I have to give it to the great people of Nimba. That Ganta is at that threshold of development. So my hats off to you guys in Ganta. Keep the flame alive.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Don. Oh, and I'm in agreement with you. I seen Ganta one time, and the video was titled Nightlife in Ganta.
Yes.
On there, I was sold. I said, nobody said nothing to me again. If any say they want to grow in Liberia, follow the footsteps of Ganta. That's it. Man, the place was balling. I said,
yeah,
what?
But you have to understand, though, Ganta, unlike most cities in the country, is strategically placed at a crossroad of major border points.
Yes.
Several countries that have to come by road to Liberia have to come by way of Ganta. So they're uniquely positioned. Yeah. but what I commend them for is that they are not missing that opportunity. You see,
Yeah.
not everybody who are uniquely positioned maximize the opportunity.
True.
They are resilient people. They are innovative. And from the small widow market on the corner of the road to the big store to the nightlife, everyone is maximizing, that strategic business corridor,
That's true.
that we call Ganda. So again, I
Yeah.
think they're doing well.
Yeah, yeah. The entrepreneur spirit is alive in our town, and we thank God for that. But I want to come back to what you said in your intro. You said you produce a paper from last year program, a
Yes.
72-page report. If you can, give us a summary of that. What was achieved, the challenges, and what are you guys looking up to into this year program, learning from the past program as well?
I think that, like I mentioned earlier, this year's program will primarily be based on what the prevailing voices within the diaspora are raising, and how we intend to accomplish that. It's the same way we accomplished it the first time, and I'm thankful now that I'm introduced to your platform. You all can help us populate through your network the survey when it's produced. A couple of your colleagues from other shows help us last year, but now that I'm introduced to you, I would like you guys to help us because we're all in this together. And why it's important? It is important because we want for the diaspora to feel, and this survey goes all over the world. It's not just in the US. We want everyone to feel a sense of belonging to this thing. While it is sponsored and spearheaded by government, it is intended for the diaspora. So that's one way we're going to move forward. But in terms of what we presented to government, the report, and it can be found, I'm sure it's still on our website. The website is still active. Consisted of an overview of the entire weekend from the beginning of the conference on the Friday to the conclusion with the town hall on the Saturday, and some of the highlights that you will see in that magazine. And I will be kind to. I think I have a few copies. I can send you an electronic copy as well if you haven't seen it. But we try to capture some of the presentation, mainly from our Minister of Education, who I thought was brilliant in laying bare before us the challenges that our education sector is facing, not passing blame on anyone, but just saying, listen, guys, this is where we are. And also this is how you in the diaspora can be of help to us. The same format was used by the Minister of Agriculture, who came and told us some of the incentives that we will have were we to enter the agriculture sector. I was impressed by it. I was surprised that those incentives were there. I cannot enumerate all of it, but he talked something about to the tune of us coming in, and if you wanted to engage in the sector, they will make now they refer to it as yellow machine available to us on loan, that we wouldn't have to raise all the capital ourselves. So there was some great conversation that came out of that. In that report, we captured some of those. What we were highlighting to government in that report, one was that a commission be formed that will spearhead the entire engagement between government and the diaspora, all right, and not limited just to the office within the executive mansion, but a broader group of people working in concert with the government office on diaspora affairs to ensure that the conversations that we are having in the diaspora, those conversations are not only heard, but they are valued and in some instances implemented. So primarily, those are the kinds of things you will see in the report. We're also pushing this diaspora fund. We believe that a fund of that nature could really, give a stake in the game. it's no surprise when I say to you that in fiscal 2025, Liberians in the diaspora remitted over $1 billion to Liberia. Over and that's a fact. Coming out of the National Bank of Liberia, all right? We'll call it central bank now, the central bank. They have documented that fiscal 2025, we pour in well over $800 million. All right. Now, where do I get my 1 billion from? All of us on this platform have sent money to Liberia by way of somebody. All right. And those somebodies, that money is not going through a central bank, so it's not accounted for. So I'm saying if the official money that went through your Western Union, your MoneyGram, your Zelle, whatever other banking transfers you use, those are captured by the central bank. And they're saying we put in over, $800 million into the economy. I, for one, I'm building my retirement home in Liberia. Whenever I go, I transfer cash sometimes, and sometimes I take cash with me. The cash I take with me, that cash is not accounted for in terms of the central processing. So I'm saying to you that when you stop to think about it, when you stop to think about the amount of money that we pour into the Liberia economy, it is far more than a national budget. All right. And so we're saying that we need to rethink, how we contribute to the development of Liberia. And those are some of the conversations that came out of the investment part of the conference last year to come up with a fund. Now, I know that it's not as easy as we're saying it. It's going to take a lot of willpower, a lot of trust. It will have to be done in ways where people would not have to second guess the process. So hopefully we will continue the conversation and could one day be celebrating the fact that all of us can put our little nickels and dime into a trust fund that will help build our country.
Okay. I want to ask a quick question, Mr. Dunn, before we go any further. I'm assuming you're with us for the duration of the show.
And duration means what?
Up to 2.5 hours, 3.
No, I promised Fred I would do 2 hours.
Okay.
I have other obligations, yeah.
All right.
I'm going until 7.
Yeah. I am going to give you some. I'm going to say this because I know this to be true. Most of our guests say that, oh man, we're here for 1 hour, but then they get so much entrenched into the discussion and they go on. And we can get they're going to enjoy the discussion so much they're going to stay here for the duration of it.
The only issue is I do have a hard stop. Seriously.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I asked because then it allows me to know how to run the table. So quickly, one interesting question. So you mentioned my good old friend, Madam Jackie McKay.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her for being preferred in the government. You said that and I saw that program when she said that information you provided. She said there is something called Stampede, and so for those of us that are willing to go, that want to go back to help, we can count on that. I've been talking about that, but I haven't talked about it in details. Is there any more information you want to share on that for our diaspora community that are watching, so that they can be informed about how to engage the government or who to engage if they want to make that decision?
Yeah, excellent question. And one of the fundamental breakdown, and I'll be honest with that, is a breakdown. We, meaning government has not been able to put together a clear roadmap as to how, and that's a fact. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. We have not been able to develop a clear roadmap. Say John Brown. John Brown wants to go. He's been in Australia 20 years, 25 years. He wants to go back to Liberia. All right. Our conversation with government right now is that John Brown does not need to go to this ministry, that ministry, this other ministry. John Brown doesn't need to go to 4 different entities in order to be reacclimated into the Liberian society. We want to set up a one-stop shop where when any one of us decide to relocate to Liberia, we can have, either a website and say, if you're interested in relocating to Liberia, these are the things you need to do. How you get your driver's license, how you get your passport renewed, how you deal with your land issue. All of these things, my commitment to the diaspora communities, we are working on that. We started that conversation in September. We met with the Office of Diaspora Affairs in November. I just recently met with them again in January, looking at these things. I must say that under the leadership of Erasmus Williams, he is open to listen. He's very committed to ensuring that the recommendations will bring, to the president through his office, will get to the president. And I've seen him demonstrate that already. And so I have no doubt that the more we engage that office, the more these kinds of things will come into fruition. But no, I cannot sit here and say to you, yes, if you go to Liberia, XYZ, no, we're not there yet. However, if anyone is listening to this conversation
One question,
and
just
you are thinking
All right.
about going to Liberia, I can share my contact with you. You can reach out to me, and I will help you navigate the process. But we want it to be more than just a personal contact. We want it to be an official link that you can go click on that link, and you will just walk your way from getting your kids registered in school and all of that kind of stuff. So we wanted to be the ABCs of re-entering the Liberian society.
Great. I'm very impressed with that response. Thank you, sir. Now, gentlemen, we're going to go 2 questions each around the table since we got at least an hour and a half to go. So let's start with you, Mr. Ware. Chris, you got any question for the guest or comment?
For now, I'm still listening, but later I will ask question.
Okay. Thank you. Just want to go AD right. Camera off. So to go to Mr. Nuba. Mr. Nuba, welcome to the platform. Please introduce yourself to the guest. And if Mr. Wright is still trying to get back on stage, you can ask your 2 questions.
Okay. Welcome, Dr. Dunn.
Thank you, sir.
I'm George Numbo. I'm one of the panelists here. I'm the managing editor of The Perspective.
Okay. I read that a lot.
And I mean, we are excited for you to be on this show. And we hope this will not be your last time on this show here.
No.
I mean, talking about going to Liberia or pretty soon this year, I will relocate to Liberia. I'm in the environmental and civil engineering area.
Oh.
And there I work in the US here. So no. Nice having you on the show today. Thank you.
All right. So I think Mr. Nuba, you can go out with your 2 questions if you have any.
Okay, let me be like my son or Chris.
Okay.
Because for some reason I came late. No, you should guess why I came late. Because I came home on time.
Okay, no problem. Let's go to Veteran Smith.
So, Mr. Nuba, where in the States are you located? Assume you're in America. Where are you located?
I'm in Philadelphia.
Oh, good at Philadelphia. Okay.
Yes. I actually, I was in Liberia during Ellen time for 7 years. I was the chief operation officer at the General Auditing Commission when John
Okay.
Bull was there. Yes.
John Muller, yes. Okay.
All right. Let me post a question for one of our listening guests. She's following. You probably know her, Madam Miata Stella Herring. So she wants to know this. Let me read a question here. She said, basically she's asking about what or how do you feel about diasporans being allowed to vote from where they reside?
I am 100% in favor of it. In December of last year, the Office of Diaspora Affairs entered into a formal conversation with the National Elections Commission. It's on record. I think was even printed in the papers, where the office is now beginning to advocate on behalf of diaspora everywhere to exercise that right to vote. I support it. I'm one of the campaigners for it, and we have seen it work in the sub-region of West Africa. As a matter of fact, some of you may or may not know, but the Guineans voted in Liberia at SKD for the national elections. Guineans residing in Liberia voted. So we see that it's happened. It's not been perfected, but we will learn, some of the best practices. We know that it's going to be a tedious process. It's going to be a costly process, but it's a process that's necessary. And so, in my short form of answer, I support it. We're working on it, and we've already started. So I'm not just giving you pay you lip service. In December of last year, the Office of Diaspora Affairs met in a formal meeting with the National Elections Commission. They also had some soft conversation with the a committee within the national legislature. So things are moving. So like everything else, it would take some time, but eventually we will see it in our lifetime.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Let go, you, Mr. Veteran Smith, for your two questions.
Let me follow that question. Although I have another, but let me follow that question. Honorable or Ambassador Dunn, if we have to vote, and I see other countries voting, will they make the diaspora stronger than the way you going right now, asking government to, where diaspora can play a part? But now we are not voting. But what will happen if they allow us to vote? Will the diaspora power be stronger than what it is right now under your leadership or any leadership?
Well, Fred, let's not look at it from the standpoint of power. I think there's certain language we need to stay away from because it only creates a hurdle. I don't want people to view this as us trying to get power. No. As citizens of our country, now, most of us are outside of Liberia, not really originally by choice. We left Liberia because of the prevailing, circumstances. I believe that if every Liberian could have left Liberia between 1990 and 1994, they would have left. Let's not, hide from that fact. If you were not a fighter, you would have left. Our country was burning. And so most of us left and started, life elsewhere. And at some point in that journey, someone like Mr. Nubu had the opportunity to go back and give back for 7 years. And the fact that he's back here is because I'm sure that opportunity was not available, or he so chose that 7 years, since I'm a biblical person, but theologian, 7 years is the number of completion. So maybe Mr. Nubu felt that 7 years he had completed, but I'm sure that was not the case. But I'm being frank here as we have this conversation. I'm being very frank here. So it's not a matter of us trying to gain power, because first of all, we would not be voting as a bloc. It's not like all of the diaspora are going to come together and support one candidate or one philosophy, one ideology. No, we're going to be voting our choice and our conscience. What it will do for us, Fred, it will empower us to speak truth to power, because elected officers will know that it's not only our money, but it's also our vote. Because election has consequences. All right. Election has consequences. And if you are elected, all right, and you don't do the right thing, we just find somebody else. But now, except like a few of us get on the plane, go register to vote, and go back and vote. How many persons can afford that luxury? Okay, it's not only economic, but it's also time. All right. But if you give us the opportunity to cast our vote, we will be a part of the process. If we're sending in over $1 billion, then our voices need to be heard as well. We are even advocating one of the things that came out of the conference, but it would be a constitutional change. But we are advocating now that we should have an elected person on Capitol Hill representing the diaspora. We want to see diaspora serving on boards. We want to see the diaspora engaging in government on the ground. Someone like Mr. Nuwaya went and gave 7 years. There are others of us who can do that. But again, having said that, we also, my friends, need to get our act together as people living in the diaspora. We are too fragmented. We are too divided. In Liberian churches, there's division. In all Liberian, there's division. In school organization, there's division. In I don't want to call it tribal, but in our ethnic community, we're in division just everywhere. So while we criticize government, we need to look internally and say, let's get our act together. Because, my friends, a unified people is hard to beat. A unified people is hard to beat. And so I hope that the little I can do to bring, the diaspora community together through the national conference, I hope we're able to make some strides into unifying our people. That's the only reason I'm doing this. And one of the reasons why this conference is not housed in any national Liberian organization such as EULA or one of the other associates, because we want it to be, first of all, apolitical, and we want it to be a home where everybody can come. So if you're mad at EULA, you can still come. If you're mad at my home association, meaning the DC Maryland Association, you can still come, because when we come to the conference, we're not coming as EULA or Liberian from DC or Philadelphia. We are coming as Liberians, to talk about issues that's affected. So yes, I think giving us the right to vote will give us an added incentive to ensure that we hold our representative feet to the fire. Because right now, it's just money we're sending. We have no other impact nationally.
My last question, I know I will come back, but you give yourself, beside all the titles you hold, you give away. You interact with diaspora, partnership with government and diaspora in bringing jobs and other things. And personally, the one that I like the most, areas of library services, scholarship, personally, your own initiative. I want you to comment more on it, because the Pingsway Library Project of Learning, and I've been trying to get the one of the CEO, Leo, to come on this show so we can know more of it. Whether we can duplicate it in other counties, not just in Macerado. Help us understand why you, with all what you do, why you giving things to undeserved community, and why is it necessary for more to people in the diaspora to do?
Thank you, Fred, for that question, because I'm passionate about that. Because once upon a time, I too would have been considered an underserved citizen of Liberia. Let me repeat the story I opened my oration with on July 26. I came from humble beginnings. My mother barely had a high school education, but she invested in her children. She sent all of us, as you know, Fred. I went to St. Patrick's, on my mother's sweat. It was not a scholarship. Um, we all, her three boys, we all had to chip in to make the house function and work. And all of us, my mother was an entrepreneur. She baked and she did catering and serve others to send us to school. And so all of us had to have a role in that business. And I lived on the old road, grew up on the old road, and I went to the Joe By Market and I sold my mother's bread. Uh, but that did not deter me from taking advantage of every opportunity that came my way. And so, Fred, the reason why I gave back the way I do is simply because I used to be there. And I didn't arrive here on my own. People helped me along the way. People helped my mother along the way. Family, church folks, friends, strangers, even in these United States. I didn't get to where I sit today by myself. God first, and other people helped me. And just as someone extended to me a helping hand, look, this is not a favor I'm doing for those young people. I'm obligated as a citizen of Liberia who has made something of himself. I'm not doing them a favor. I am obligated to give back to my fellow citizens. And so, yes, when I work along with Mr. Leo Johnson, an extraordinary young man, and I really hope you can get him on this show. As a matter of fact, I would twist his arm to come on this show because he too came from humble beginnings, a refugee in the Bujumbura camp in outside of Accra, found his way to Canada, and again maximized his opportunity and was able to establish the Empowerment Square. Empowerment Square is one of the leading nonprofits in Canada, housed in Hamilton, Canada, right outside of Toronto. All right. And he has a branch in Liberia, and I'm the chair of the board of Empowerment Square Liberia. And we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to build that facility. And to answer your question, we would like to see it replicated in other counties. Yes. However, our approach to that is not starting from scratch. There are some initiatives going on outside of Montserrado that people are not even aware of. There are some small to medium scale education initiative. We want to go in and work alongside of them and help them grow. We're not of the mindset that we know it all or we have the right roadmap. No, there are people out there that's already doing some of that work, and Empowerment Square is committed to working alongside of them to enhance it so it could become like the Liberia Learning Center. Liberia Learning Center operates 6 days a week. I mean, from computer literacy classes to right now we have one of the most functioning children's library in the country. We tonight, well, I don't know the time in Monrovia right now, but beginning at 7:00 tonight, Liberia time.
9:51.
Yeah. Well, the class is over, but we have 14 young people that are learning how to sew. So it's just not all, book knowledge. We're giving some hands-on skill sets so that those young people can learn the art of sewing and make something of themselves. All right. So it's a brilliant initiative, and that's the brain of Leo Johnson. I only came along to help him make it, into fruition, but that was his dream. Always wanted to build a library in Liberia, and so I do that. I also help with scholarships. I find scholarships. There's a school in Caldwell, the Rosetta Step Education Center. We have well over 50 kids on scholarship. Not only do we give them scholarship, we provide hot meals for them. Right now, my organization is partnering with them to take the school to a high school level. So now we're building a brand new 2-story building in Caldwell, for those children where the tuition is less than $1 a day, to go to school. And so, no, I am committed. I'm committed. In addition to that, I also help with healthcare. We just sent a container to Liberia to give to clinics in Bomi. We just helped to furnish a operating theater for midwives in Buchanan. So we're doing a lot. We're under the radar. We don't. You will never see me on Facebook or on Twitter. You never. If you see my picture anywhere, somebody put it there. I'm not one to self promote, but we do a lot for our people personally and corporately.
Thank you. Let's go now to initially Mr. Wright was supposed to have his question, but then he's back now. So Mr. Wright, I have you ask 2 questions, sir.
Thank you, our co-host. So my first question will have to do with I heard a wonderful guest talk about the link between his institution and the national government, so strong and very concrete. I'm wondering if that is also true with the grassroots.
Can you break that question down so I fully understand it?
Sure. I'm trying to say from your explanation, there is a strong link between your institution and the national government. That's the first part of the coin.
Right.
The second part of the coin is where the question comes in. Is that also true with the ground, with the grassroots, with the ordinary people in the street?
So let's clarify the institution. I represent several institutions. So which one are you making reference to? The conference
The institution that you said for the last year conference, you made some
Okay, yes.
recommendations,
Okay.
some of which have been okay.
Right. Yeah, that's the Liberian Diaspora Conference. Yes.
Definitely.
The conference worked actually on behalf of both the diaspora and on behalf of government. The conference is an initiative of the office of the president. We on the planning committee have been tasked with the responsibility to plan it, to execute it, and to help to implement the outcomes of those conferences. So our interaction with government is only on that aspect. So the conference itself does not work in Liberia. The conference works only in the diaspora, but the outcome is to facilitate engagement between those of us who live outside of the country and those and the government in the country. Now, how do we see the grassroots benefiting? The grassroots benefit in many ways because the intent of the conference is to encourage those of us who are here with resources, with means, with network contact to invest in the country. I just mentioned to you what I'm doing, providing scholarships for young people in Caldwell that parents cannot even afford to pay tuition for $1 a day. You heard me talk about what my 9 to 5, the one that paid me, because I don't get paid for what I do for the conference, is pro bono. But the Latcari convention, what we are doing in Bopolu, not Montserrat County, not Monrovia, not Kippa, but in Bopolu, we are building a brand new campus, K through 12, state of the art, with all the labs you can think about, and every student going to go to school free of charge from K through 12. You cannot get any more grassroots than that, So the intent is for the conference to be an encouragement. This conference, I will be bringing testimonies from Liberia, from the community to talk about, Mr. Wright, from impoverished community to say, look, our brothers and sisters who have been able to, make something of themselves. Don't forget us. Like I said to Mr. Smith earlier, that because I too sold in the market, I too went somewhat partly barefooted, I too, had to walk to school in the rain. I understand the grassroots, my brother. I lived it. It was a lived experience for me. And that part of me helped to shape me today. And I will never forget those young people. And so I will do all I can to continue to connect the the conference, which include all of us on this panel, by the way, with the exception of my brother Chris, who lives in Liberia, to be able to give back. And Mr. Wright, we talk about the Boston town of Ganta. One of the things I want to do is to be able to open some opportunities for those of us who want to come back to Liberia and invest, not just stay in Monrovia, but look at some of the things that's working. When I speak at Nima County, I speak of Floyd Tomei. All right. If you haven't heard that name, I don't know who that person
I
is.
know him.
I say try to find out. All right. I put him on par with any business person in Liberia. I put him on par. All right. He has demonstrated that he can do, if not more than what the Lebanese and the Indians are doing. We just need to be able to invest more in our own Liberians. All right. So one of the things we're going to be trying to work on, Mr. Wright, is to look at those pockets in Liberia that's working, you know, and take some of the best practices and transplant it. And the other part of, you know, Buchanan could be just as vibrant as Ganta, but Buchanan is no longer as vibrant as it used to be. So what has gone wrong? All right. Because once those cities, and you all know the drill, it's a trickle-down effect. Once those things start to happen in our cities, the grassroots that we talk about will benefit. They will all benefit. But some of it, we have to make it happen. We have to go back and make it happen.
That brings me to my second question. And thank you for the beautiful explanation to answering my first question. I think I got a picture I wanted. The second question has to do with when I hear diaspora Liberians, my understanding is like a generalization of all Liberians back home and in the States. There is that biological and moral connection between you and those of us on the side here. But the issue now is when you choose to be, should I use the word choose? No. Let me put it this way: when the entity becomes a making of the government, that kind of see commitment, loyalty going to the government more than any other thing.
No, well, first of all, I would say I am committed and loyal to the government. I am. I would not, as I have been with every other government in my existence. I think we all should be loyal and committed to government, because government is not them versus us, us versus them. We are government. We know the preamble of our constitution that say our government is what? A government by the people, of the people, for the people. So what we will not allow ourselves to. I'm sorry?
Do you want me to provide small information when, in the context of what my question is?
Certainly.
Sure. So I'm not looking at government versus the people. That's not what I'm looking at. But the government, as an institution, politically, should be a general father, a general mother, a general parent.
Correct.
But the practical politics in our nation now suggests that government sees itself or takes a side, that we are a side, and certain people are not people who should benefit from our initiative, because these people, we don't see them like us. That's the context I came in.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. I think there are some people in government would think like that, and I think the more we engage government, we can begin to disabuse those kinds of thinking. I would agree with you 100%. Yeah, I think, and that's one reason why when Veteran Smith talked about if we're given voting right, we have power. I wanted to stay away from that word because it scares the hell out of some people. It scares the hell out of some people. And my thing is, I don't want us to see ourselves as being, because listen, you sit in Ganta today. I sit in DC. and Brother Noble sit in Philadelphia. But just because we are disconnected geographically doesn't mean we cannot be connected, nationally from a patriotic standpoint. But I hear you, and you're not saying anything that's not true. I would say it's not 100% true, because there are people, in the high echelon of government that want to see the diaspora play a role in government. So I think the more we engage government, the more we disabuse those kinds of people who want to see, because someone like yourself, I mean, the fact that you're interested in this conversation and even raise this conversation, you of the mindset, as I think I am, that you see all of us as one people working together for the cohesive forward movement of Liberia.
Okay. Mr. Nubo, your 2 questions.
Yes.
Hold
Okay.
on. Mr. Nubo, hold 1 second,
Yes,
please.
sorry for the interruption. Yes, sorry for the interruption, but I tell my second question was properly answered. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Thank
That's
you.
good. Chris, Mr. Nubo, let me go to Chris and ask if he's got questions now. If not, I'll come back to you.
There's an echo in the background.
Okay. So, Chris, do you have any question now, or you still want to listen in? You're the young man on the platform. I want to make sure you can ask. Most of what has been discussed is going to affect you. Okay. So, Chris, I think he's.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, because the question is coming from the background of Bafta. Yes, I learned that he served for 20 some more years on the Bafta board. So my question have to do with what inspired him to dedicate his life to ministry and leadership in the Baptist community and around the world. What really inspired him? What gave you that courage to stay that year? And when it comes to serving Baptist, that's what I want to know. Because he stayed more than 20 years, 20 some more years.
Okay, Dr. Don, you are muted.
You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand the first part of the question.
Are you
Chris,
Co-host, if you heard it, since I'm hearing you very clearly, can you?
No, Chris,
Okay.
can you repeat the question, Chris?
Mr. Wright, are you getting me?
We're hearing you. Repeat your question.
hearing
So the
you.
guests can hear you.
repeat your question.
Okay. Let me just tell you, Mr.
Okay,
Yeah, you
Mr.
said-
Wright, please repeat
I got
Chris'
it.
question.
He said you served 20 years on the Baptist board.
Okay, yeah.
And did you hear the last part about that? I have the first part of the question.
Okay. Oh, you would make reference to me. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Chris. I understand
Yes.
the question now. All right. Thank you, Chris. I
yeah,
understand and you
the
were
question
asking me what motivated me to serve
Right.
that long.
And,
Okay.
yeah, and you were asking me
We're having some bad feedback.
No, we're getting that. It's okay. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, good.
Are,
Okay.
are you guys
we're
getting me?
having some bad feedback.
No, we're getting
It's
that. It's
cool,
okay.
Chris.
Chris, we'll come
Oh,
back
good.
to you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I serve on the executive staff
I
of
serve on the
Baptist World
executive staff.
Alliance. The Baptist World Alliance is an
Of the,
organization that consists of Baptist conventions and unions from around the world. We are the way I like to explain it is if you think about the Catholic Church and the Vatican, all right, when you think about the Baptists, you think about it as the Baptist World Alliance. We are the largest Baptist body in the entire world. And the 20 years I stayed with them, I basically led the Department of Youth Leadership Development. That's why I'm so passionate about young people, because for 20 years of my professional life, I work with young people in 110 different countries. So I understand the passion, I understand the innovative spirit. And so what motivated me and Chris was because um, even though I was developing programs for them, I was learning from them. I was being inspired by them. I mean, some of the things that young people are doing, especially on the continent, is incredible. I mean, we have bright minds, even right there in Liberia. We have bright minds. Young people only want opportunities, to exhibit their God-given talent. So what motivated me was the innovation and the commitment those young people have to self-development. So it made my work easy.
Okay, Chris, you want to follow up? Or yes,
okay,
one more
Chris,
question.
you want to follow up or yes, one more question?
We cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
Okay, Chris, your connection is very bad.
Your connection is very bad.
Chris, we can't hear you.
Chris, we can't hear you.
All right.
Oh, you're not getting. Are you getting me now?
So
Okay, great.
Are you getting me now?
great. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So my question is, you talk about those who in the diaspora that sometimes they take, money and give it to the government for other development, and you also have a thinking that you guys have to open an account or have a self empowerment, self and group that will carry on development. How are you planning to do that, and how long it will take to work? Because I see that it's going to be a very good thing that those who in the diaspora to have a development plan that they will be working, but it's not everything passing through the government. You talk about it. So my question is, how do you think you can do it, and how long it will take to work?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. We're in the process of having conversations with um, persons that have already done this. We know that let's take Ethiopia for an example. Ethiopia has a vibrant diaspora community that supported some major. I think it was a dam in Addis that they worked on. Um, a few of our committee members were invited to visit Rwanda about 4 months ago to sit with them and to listen and learn from what their citizens are doing outside of Rwanda to help them inside. So we have not developed a blueprint. Honestly, we're only in the formative stage of imagining how these things can work. Because the good news is it's working in other places. We just need to learn how we can contextualize that for Liberia. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I'll be the first one to talk about it. The issue with us has always been the issue of trust. All right? I'm not afraid to talk about that. Has been the issue of trust. I know I'm not the only one on this platform that had been burned by another fellow Liberian. In my case, was even a family member.
Oh, yes.
All right? It's an issue of trust. Let's just look, I'm a strong advocate. In my 26th speech, I even challenged the Minister of Labor not to give work permit to non-Liberians, jobs where Liberians could do those jobs. I'm a strong advocate for that. But my brother, when you listen to some of the stories, you say, I see why. All right. Having said that, it doesn't mean this generation cannot start to change the narrative. One of the things I want to do under my leadership as chair for this conference is to help change the narrative. That look, not everybody in Liberia cannot be trusted. We know, that prevailing, cancer is there. We don't trust government. Government don't trust government. People in government don't trust. It's like every time, anytime government comes up with a pronouncement that has to do with dollars in it, we always say, it don't cost that much. Half of it, we know that. But having said that, Chris, let us not be discouraged. I think we need to try something new. All right. I think with the mindset that we have, we can make a difference. And developing, a fund exclusively to be spearheaded by diaspora to help work on projects that will be decided by us. I think it's a way to say to government, listen, yes, we'll hold your feet to the fire. We'll criticize you when you're wrong. We'll praise you when you do right. But it's not all talk. We want to play a tangible role. Now, don't get me wrong. We are playing a tangible role in Liberia. Don't let anybody fool you. It may not be coordinated as with the fund I'm talking about, but I keep going back to the amount of remittances we send to Liberia. Do you know what will happen if we stop sending money to Liberia? But here is the sad part of the money that we send to Liberia. Half of it goes back out of Liberia because it is being invested in businesses not run by Liberians. It's being invested. When I send money to my auntie to go buy food, she goes to a Lebanese man, play about her sardine, about corned beef or whatever for a Lebanese man's store. He take that money and send it to Lebanon or wherever his family is. You see the point I'm making here? So we are contributing to the economy, but most of what we send into the economy goes out of the economy because it's not being invested in Liberians. And I do know Liberians who will not support another Liberian business, for I don't know why. And so everything we're trying to do is to change the mindset. How long it's going to take, Chris, I don't know. But at least we've started the conversation. I'd rather start the conversation. The old folks say, nothing beat a failure but a try. Let's try. Let's come in there with open minds, clarity of conscience, with the commitment to succeed and see where it goes. But I strongly believe that the diaspora Liberians can come together, and it will not be 100%. Nothing is 100%. I mean, we live in what we always thought was the greatest democracy in the world, and it's proven to be crumbling before our very eyes. Those of us who live under the democracy in the USA, but it doesn't mean that we cannot try. I want us to try.
Okay. I'll go to Mr. Nubo. Mr. Nubo?
Yes.
There are two questions.
I first want to thank the guest. I mean, his reference to the Grand Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia. It cost about $5 billion. And they did not go anywhere to take loan. They trusted themselves. They trusted their diaspora partners. They trusted themselves internally. And I agree with him. That in Liberia, we don't trust one another. Even in my county, Maryland County, we don't trust within a district. We don't trust one another. It's a big problem. But let's go to my first question, which is diaspora voting. Diaspora voting, as our guest explained, is not just people in the United States voting now in Liberia election. In the country, or in other countries, Liberians who are there will be voting. But within Liberia, during early administration, we should have maybe 10 candidates running for to be senator, and the runoff issue came. Even the representative slot, the runoff issue came, and the government said they didn't have money. So if George Numbo is running for senator in Maryland County, and he is at the top, with 20% of the vote, he automatically become the senator, according to the Supreme Court ruling. Now, the diaspora voting. I want to find out how would the money be raised to have voting in the diaspora, because people, the decision makers, what they feel is that we are trying to go and take power, and they will not approve anything. I mean, even if it is an amount that I know we can have it, but this is so and so amount it costs. I think we in the diaspora, we can step in. And I don't want to take a long time, but I will stay talk. We had Jim Flomoyan here, my friend James Flomoyan. I was asking him.
So your two questions go into one.
Everything will go into one because of the length of time I take.
Yes, sir.
And I said, why we cannot print our ballot in Liberia? We have to go to Ghana, we got to go to China to print our ballot. Election Commission been in a system for several years. And why we cannot transport our own ballot to the various districts and counties? And he spoke of the issues you just spoke about. That we the Liberians, we don't trust one another. But my question, which is it was to be two questions, but the host has truncated it to one question.
No, but it seems like you're commenting.
My question is how, if there is the cost issue, how can we raise the money to have diaspora voting?
I think it's an excellent question, and I think I mentioned in my response to Veteran Smith, I mentioned that as well resources will be one of our greatest hindrances. But I think, Mr. Noble, I think the first thing we need to do is to, like you said, there will be hurdles that we need to cross just to get it approved, because people will interpret it from all different angles. All right. But the same people who kick against it, Mr. Noble, are some of the same people who come to America, go to Ghana to raise money to run their campaign. And we know that for a fact. Every single one of them. They come to the ethnic association, whether you run into be senator of Maryland, you come to the Maryland Association of USA and raise money from some of your friends. But they don't want those same people who put money into the campaign to have a voice through a vote. And so the first hurdle, let's work to approve it. And the old Liberian man say, well, reach that bridge, we'll cross it. But it is an important bridge we have to reach to, the bridge of finding adequate resources. And I think if it is approved, maybe some of our partners may be able to, and it could be done. Like I said, I think we just need to learn about some best practices around the world, because this is people are doing this stuff every day in different countries. Let's just see how they are doing that, and see lessons that we can learn to cut down the cost. Because you're right, it will be expensive, but maybe if we partner with some of our friends, that maybe would help us, because it would be historical.
Yes.
It will be historical for us.
Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, let me give you. I just thought about it, Coach. Just give me 1 second. I didn't. And this is, I'm a theologian by profession, so I keep going back to make biblical illustration. It's like what God said to Peter, flesh and blood did not reveal this to you. It just dawned on me, Mr. Noble, that maybe one of the ways that we can raise that money is by diaspora voters registration. We pay to register to get an ID, and that monies could be just put in a deposit to facilitate diaspora voting. Maybe that's one way. I just thought about it.
Thank you.
And don't get me wrong, when I say pay to vote, I'm not saying pay to vote, but pay for the credentials.
Registration.
Yeah, the credentials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, some of us.
Okay, Mr. Noble, you're supposed to put all your
but-
question in one, but keep the question short, please.
Oh no, that one issue very short.
Very short.
Very short. Some of us who have gone to graduate school, we have problem. I'm at a dissertation level at a PhD. We have problem with record keeping in Liberia. So even in some of the assignments, you have to mimic conditions from other neighboring countries to represent Liberia. So what you think we, the diaspora Liberians, can do about record keeping? I mean, it's a major problem.
Yeah.
Because here, if I'm from Philadelphia, I get a rubber farm. Everybody in the whole nation or who do research will find out. But not in Liberia. Even the sales of the stores in Monrovia, nobody knows. So how can we invest in technology, high tech, record keeping, and what have you in Liberia?
Excellent question, because we all fall victim of that. I always say, and since you're in academia now, you know that most of the historical data for Liberia is outside of Liberia.
Right.
The most historical written documents on our country, they are housed outside of Liberia in libraries in major universities. But let's pivot to your concern, to your question. There are several steps being taken now to introduce digital technology into the country. All right.
Okay.
There are agreements being signed between different governments to introduce that. Even I just had a conversation with the he's no longer the chief of police. They call them Inspector General, Mr. Coleman, that they just signed with Morocco to introduce digital technology to Liberian National Police. There are other entities within government that's doing that. The national ID system had to be shut down because there was some glitch in that they're trying to perfect that. So no, I'm in agreement with you, and I think government is also working to introduce digital technology that will help us keep records. However, having the technology is one thing, but we have to have trained technicians for the technology to work. And so that means we have to ensure that young people are trained to adequately, do the coding so that when it is put in the system, it is done correctly. Because like we always say, if you put in junk, you're going to take out junk. You put in good stuff, you take out good stuff. So we want to ensure that the data that's being captured are, not only just scientific, but accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So we got 2 minutes to go to the lines. So let welcome Mr. Nippet to the platform. Mr. Nippet, please introduce yourself to our guests, and then we're going to go to the lines, and then when we come back, we're going to come to you for your question. Mr. Nippet. Mr. Christopher J. Nippet.
Yes, sir. Good evening to Reverend Dr. Emmett Lafayette Dunn, our host, our guest rather, and to the radio audience. It's a pleasure, Dr. Dunn, to see you on our set. And I want to thank you for everything that you are doing, not only for the church, but for humanity. And I think you are wearing a lot of caps. And I don't know how you wrestle with your priestly duties and the other one that has to do with the governmental function. It is my understanding that you were the orator of the 178th Independence Anniversary. You were the orator.
Yes, sir.
That culminated in you becoming a pro bono presidential special envoy with seat at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for partnership and philanthropic activities. Then you are on the board and CEO of the Lakiri Missionary Baptist and Education Convention at the same time with Baptist World Alliance, where you have been working for something over 22 years now. And
Okay.
since the
Mr. Nippet.
Yeah.
If you can just introduce yourself, and we'll come back. We're gonna go to the line. It's 6:30.
I told her how to ask a question.
No. We'll come back. You want to ask a question? I want to go to the line.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I've introduced myself already. I'm Christopher J. Nippet.
Thank you, Mr. Nippet.
Yeah. I think I met you one time at the embassy when I served there.
Yes.
Right. That's the political officer.
Correct. You did. Yes, sir.
And the reason why I was trying to go, because you have a litany of experiences drawn from your religious background up to and including everything that has to do with school, the Baptist World Convention, and all of those things. So since I have my question, I'll reserve until I come back to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
All right. And I got to bring this in because one of our guests listening to the show followers, listening to the show, that's a very important question that I got to pose to Dr. Don before the lines. Dr. Don, the question reads.
Chris, please.
Yeah, Chris, please. I'll come back to you, please. The question is plain and simple. You have heard about Putu Mountain, and we are broadcasting live into it. Okay, let me mute Chris. All right, we're broadcasting live into it, and this follower wants to know, what are your thoughts on the natural resources and how the diaspora can get involved in their own instead of being a spectator in their own economy? That's the question, plain and simple.
Excellent question. Again, I keep
it's not a hold you about the question because we'll go on the line. I want Dr. Don to answer this question for our audience out there. That's why I had to bring it in.
It's an excellent question. Thanks for posing the question. And if we go back to my oration for July 26, I proffered to government that every concession agreement signed, all right, a certain percentage of that concession should be carved out for Liberians exclusively. I'm a strong advocate that Liberians must participate in the development of our economy. We will never be able to build a middle class if we are kept out of those major concession agreements. All right. It must be opened up. Now, not most of us have 2 million, 200 million to invest in a mining concession, but we can come together as a group. Again, Mr. Noble, it goes back to that issue of trust. All right. For these kinds of opportunities to be taken advantage of, we must come to the table with resources. All right. I may not be able to do it with just me and my family, but we can come together collectively. And that's where I believe the diaspora has strength and potential. All right. That government needs to announce to our people that there is a concession agreement coming up. It's available for you to buy shares. It's available for you to come in and be a full participant in this concession. So yes, my brother, I agree with you that we need to be a part of it. I believe that government should, if the policies are not already on the books, it should be on the books that Liberians must have access to every concession, no matter how small or no matter how large. We must have access to buy in and just not be workers and recipients of monthly salaries, but we want to have shares so that we can build our country and build our own economy.
Excellent. All right, Chris, we took it to the line, please. Up to you. This is where we all mute.
Okay, I'd like to say good evening to our listeners and welcome. This is Top 105.3. We broadcast to you live and direct from Zwaju, Grand Jeda County, Republic of Liberia. This is Alberto D4, and tonight we have Reverend Dunham right here with you in Zwaju, in Liberia and around the world. So we'd like to say welcome. You've been listening to the platform, you've been listening to the questions and his response. And I know you have something, you want to ask a question, you want to recommend. So if you want to do that, you can join on 0881 1435 04, 0881 1435 04, 0776 105 105 0776 105 105. And you're going to be live tonight and have that great opportunity to ask Reverend Donald this question. Let's go to the phone line and take our first caller. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah. You're not forced, but you're
Hello?
compared to do the right thing. You are live.
Hello?
Yeah, but the cartoon, you are live. Okay, you need to call back, but you were live. Call on 0881 1435 04, 0881 1435 04, 0776 105 105, 0776 105 105. And we will hear you tonight. What would be your question? What would be your recommendation? And what would be your point of view when it comes to, what we are speaking with the chairman for the diaspora. Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chris Beware. Good evening to Nigerians. Good evening to all of our professors. And good evening to the studio guest.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
To the studio guest, my name is retired Captain Emmanuel S. Doe, otherwise known as Belekatu. You don't pose, but you compare to do the right thing.
Only the right thing.
And we're going this evening from Shredo City, Grand Jeda County. Thank you. We listen to you. First, let us congratulate you for this high level of advocacy in the interest of us all Liberians. Now, here is my question. This institution or organization that you are chairing, serving as a chairperson, is comprises of how many membership, and are they from different countries around the world or only the United States of America? Because when you say diaspora Liberians, I guess it is not only American Liberian, we got Liberians around that are referred to as diaspora Liberians. So how many membership and which of the countries around the world you got your membership from that you all are into this advocacy? Thank you.
Thank you so
man.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Brother
Doe.
Ons,
Appreciate
Yeah.
the question.
you need you need to hold it there and get that question set and let so call 0881 14 35 04 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105 0776 105 105, and you're going to be live this evening on this program, I Bet to Differ. Yeah, right here tonight. We have the chairperson when it comes to our sisters and brother in the diaspora. The chairperson is here. Also, a man who served the Baptist community for more than 20 years and served other ministry and institution. So you can ask a question. You've been listening and is ready to answer you. So call 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105, and we will hear you. Let's see whether we can play our theme song a little bit. Yeah, whether we can play our theme song as we wait for your call.
Top FM 105.3, we on the air. Leader, shout, Sheku Koroma.
We hold it right there. We'd like to say good evening and welcome. This is your program, I Bet to Differ. We are live on Zweju, Grand Jeda County, Republic of Liberia. So if you are following this evening, call 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105, and you're gonna be live. Mr. Right, I think we can go over to you guys while we are with the caller. Yes, I think we can go over to you, Mr. Wright, if you are there.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's start with Mr. Well, first of all,
Chris.
yeah, thank you.
But the cartoon asked a question. I think he wanted to
Right, that's
respond
what
to
I
that.
want to go reading the comment section. Yeah, so I just want to you to respond to the callers. If there's comment or question that was maybe you want to answer to.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Doe, for the question. The diaspora committee, the planning committee, two sets of committees, a steering committee and there's a planning committee. I chair the planning committee, and I'm pleased to report to you that we have members, Liberians from Australia, from Ghana, from Germany, that's representing the community of European Liberians. So all of the associations are represented on the committee. Is just not for people in the US. And also at the last conference, we had them physically participate in the conference. We had representatives from Canada, representing Europe, from as far as Australia. Our sister could not join us from Ghana because of the visa situation. Hopefully this year we'll start that process early. But in terms of the planning, we have people representing the different Liberian associations around the world.
Okay, so before I go to Mr. Nippet, Chris, what is our WhatsApp number? Because people in the comment section are asking for the WhatsApp number for those in the diaspora. Is it the 0776 number?
Yes, 077. They just have to put plus. That's all.
Okay.
2 plus 231.
All right.
Yeah,
So
the number that is written on the
plus
screen.
31
Yeah.
0776 0151 05.
05.
All right, that is
All right, that is
do well next time.
next time.
But if you
But
watch,
if you watch
it on the bar,
on the bar,
So I go to you, Mr. Nipip. Your question, sir.
Thank you very much. Dr. Don, you were ordained approximately 39 years ago. That is 1987. And those 29 years prior to you coming to the United States, having been ordained at the Providence Baptist Church, and now that you are looking at Liberia from a distance, how do you marry your activities as a religious person with the government, with the diaspora, and other activities that you are performing as technical assistance and diaspora resources to further the arrest agenda? How do you marry all of those things? And what are the challenges that you are faced with?
Right. Excellent question, Mr. Nipip. Thank you. I have always been people-centered. Everything that I do, whether it's through my responsibility as a clergy or as a corporate leader with Lord Carey or as a citizen serving Liberia, is all about people. If you look at my bio, you will see that everything in my bio deals with engaging people. That's the center of my professional orbit. If it's not people centered, I don't want to have anything to do with it. So whether it's me engaging government and trying to create opportunities to empower grassroots Liberians or people in the diaspora, or whether it's me working through 14 countries around the world in the area of education, healthcare, youth development, and capacity building, it all has to do with people. There are challenges, especially when it comes to dealing with, in this new space that I find myself navigating diaspora and government assignments. It's the challenge of politics. Those of us who do not consider ourselves as politicians, we still have to navigate that space. And sometimes it creates a challenge. It's a learning curve for me. But if you talk to anyone, especially if you ever work in the Black church, you know that if you work in the Black church as a leader, there's no better place to learn how to negotiate politics than in the church. So while I may not be very open with national politics, I do come with some sense of understanding of how to play the game.
Mm-hmm. And you touched on Ethiopia, Rwanda, and you use as your platform trust. Trust is the most difficult challenge that we are faced with in Liberia. How can we bridge that trust gap, and what could you do? Because if Ethiopia could have done a certain piece of job and Rwanda is doing the same, and trust is the only challenge that we have, how can you, given your spiritual background, given the fact that you are involved with the government in terms of reconciliation, how do you reconcile the issue of trust so that we can forge ahead in rebuilding Liberia?
It's an age-old challenge that we've had. If we want to be honest with ourselves, let's look at Liberia as a collection of the multiple ethnic communities. Maybe for those who may be older than I am, I'll be 62 in a few months, but in those 62 years, I cannot go back and qualify instances in our national platform where where government was intentional about bringing us together. Yeah, Tubman, signed a unification policy, and he tried, but it had never blossomed into a cohesive mindset that we belong together because we are Liberians. Most of us would say, Bassa by tribe, Quella by tribe. We call our tribe before we say we're Liberians. And I think it should be the other way around. I think we are Liberians first, and then we identify ethnically. So while that problem is there, and again, it's not just a civil society problem, it's in the church. The problem of trust is in every fabric of our society. Everyone, there's not one that's exempt from that. So how do we go about helping? I think we start with the younger generation. I think we start in our schools. I think we start in our community, because I don't think that ultimate trust will come overnight. I think it will be a gradual and long process. I think government needs to start showing transparency in its fiduciary responsibility, so we can begin to trust them. Government needs to set policies that would be beneficial to our people and not politically motivated, for us to start to trust them. I think teachers in the classroom needs to present themselves as leaders and moral figures, and not molest our young daughters, or in some instances our young boys. That, you see, the trusting it runs the gamut across every sector, and we need to start teaching it, preaching it, singing it, and living it. So I don't think there's one magical formula, but the first thing is we need to name it, like I'm doing now. I'm naming that it's a problem. And if any social scientists here on the platform, you would know that one of the first step to being cured of anything is to acknowledge that you have a problem. An alcoholic would never cure him or herself if they're in denial. A child molester would never get healed except he or she admits it. And I think we need to admit the fact that we, as a Liberian society, we have a trust deficit. All right. And I think that's the first step. And then we start in our schools, in our churches, in our mosque, everywhere where we assemble people. We need to start teaching them the value of trust and the benefit of trust. The benefit of trust. I think if we could try something new, and succeed, I think it will be an example of us trusting each other. But we have to start from somewhere. We just have to start from somewhere.
So it being a challenge, therefore.
Mr. Napier?
No, I'm still on the floor. I have another question. You said two.
Okay, ask the question. Ask the last question.
Dr. Don wants to answer as many questions as we can.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
He keep prepared.
You got 9 minutes, though.
I don't know by inference, therefore, it is a difficult challenge. And if by that definition you are saying that the country cannot be reconciled because of the trust factor.
No, so I'm not saying that. I am acknowledging that it is a difficult challenge.
So how can we move from trust being a challenge to confidence being the roadmap if we must develop our own country?
Right. Like I said, it will start from educating our young people. It will start from government also exhibiting trust towards its citizens. It will be preached from our pulpits. It will be talked about, preached in our mosque. Every fabric of our society. This must be a national conversation. That's the point I'm trying to make. It cannot just be an issue for a small pocket of us. It must be a national conversation, and by so doing, we take ownership and say, This has been a problem, an age-old historical problem. Let's now look at ways. And part of the ways I'm saying, one of the fundamental ways, one is through education. I think we will teach our people the value of trust. And
So in short, reconciliation is possible.
It's very possible.
Okay, let me peep into your mind just a little bit, because the question came up about Putu Mountain,
Yes.
and I am very, very, very bitter about why things are happening the way they are happening. How we can if not stop, we could put a brakes on some of those things. So I ask you the direct question. You are in the government pro bono, that is, because you're not accepting anything from the government, which I must applaud you for that, because you hardly found people as decent as you are. Everything they want to do for the government, they want to lick up to their elbow, if not under their arms. What are your thoughts? What are your honest thoughts about the future of Liberian children in regards to the rapid exploitation of our mineral resources and not leaving out the Putu Mountain, such that in the next, you will be 20, 50, or 60 years in a few months, such that your children's children will have something that they can work with when they are fully grown, say, at the age of 18, and they start their real life as teenagers to move into adulthood. What is your thinking about government going to the fishery, giving out contracts, and local not doing anything, and the money is falling into people's pockets? B Mountain is giving us 10%. Mittal Steel is giving us 15%. And it comes to me with a troubling heart.
Yeah. No, it's a major concern.
Yeah, that this young man has a plantation. He grows coconut. And instead of the man who wants to invest, paying him a 50-50 share or a 60-40 share, he gives him 10 cents on the dollar and he takes 90 cents. And that's what I see is being repeated over and over and over. And I think Liberians are beginning to see this picture of some, and it brings you back to the trust factor. So in your honest thinking, do you feel it is justifiable at this point in time, if we're going to give concession 50 years, 25 years for a mountain such as a Putu, a virgin mountain such as Putu, to be given to Planet One or Planet Two or whoever it might be?
Well, I think first of all, I do agree with you that I too share a burden when it comes to the way concessions are written and agreements are made to the benefit of to the ultimate benefit of the investor rather than the Liberia. We all know that investors are there to make money. That's bottom line. Business people are in business to make money. However, it should not be at the expense of the owners of the resources, meaning the Liberian people. I think concession agreements going forward must be open to the public. In other words, everything that you're going to sign must be made public record before signatures are affixed. It must be open for public review. We can do it in other countries. We can do it in ours. And let the citizen raise their concerns, or let us raise our concerns. All right? That's the first thing. Secondly, every concession must have a clause in there that is certain percentage is open for Liberians to invest in, not just receive salary, but have shares in those companies, so that we will be direct benefactors of the resources coming out of our country. All right. So we need to be careful how we go back and undo concessions, because government continues. I know that. And I know that probably there was a bad concession that need to be reviewed, but in dealing with international partners, they kind of run away from countries that every new government come, they undo concessions that were done before. So while there may be some diplomatic way of reviewing concessions for better benefits, I think going forward, all concession agreements need to be open to the public, reviewed by the public before our government affix signatures to that concession. So we know exactly what we're getting, what we're not getting. And if we want to have a voice, we have a voice in it. And hopefully government will listen and can adjust it. But secondly, the Liberians are given opportunity to buy shares in those companies, that a certain percentage, is given to Liberians. Like I said earlier, maybe individually we may not be able to do it as a single, as Mr. Nippy or Mr. Dunn or Mr. Smith, but we can come together. And I think this way the diaspora community can come in, pull resources together and go and buy, and get that 20% from Putu Martin or that 30%. And so that we have a voice around the boardroom table, and I think is morally wrong and sinful for our government to continue to sign concessions that are not going to benefit us ultimately. Again, don't get me wrong, investors are there to make money. However, it must be done in a way where there's some kind of a equitable balance. All right. The third thing I'm going to talk, and I'm sorry, I got 1 minute. The last thing I'm going to say, for young Liberians who are engaging in entrepreneurship and foreigners are interested, I think we need to educate them as how to negotiate their agreements, because they all may not know how to negotiate a fair deal, and so maybe this is where, the Ministry of Labor or the National Investment Commission can come in. And maybe this is a topic that we may want to talk about in the upcoming Diaspora Conference. How can we create educational opportunities for young entrepreneurs, not only to learn how to manage the business, but if they were to come to the negotiating table, how would they manage, to come out with the largest chunk of the hard work? Again, I thank you, friends, for hosting me. I promise you I will come back and give you the full 2.5 hours, but I have family duties I need to go to. It's 7 o'clock. You've been so kind to me. I look forward to connecting with you again. Hopefully you guys can join us, make this conference a great event. Thank you again so much.
And you have been magnanimous with your time, and I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Don.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Don, and we'll hope you make time to be back here with us.
I certainly will.
We ought to spend all the time that we have here, because I can read a couple of comments from the comment section to you. Your connection with the Toba University, I think they're asking here, and a whole lot of questions that I can push to you. But we'll look forward to having you again another time.
I let Veteran Smith knows how to get me, and I would do it expeditiously. I will come back on as quickly as I can afford the time.
Thank you so much. You've been excellent, sir. Cool to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, people. This is now where we come and we do a round table. First of all, let me ask a quick question around the table. What do we think of Dr. Don's appearance? Let me start with you first, Mr. Nubo. Give us your overview.
Are you starting with me?
No, Mr. Nubo, and I'll come to you, sir.
He changed his name to Nigel.
No, but when the introduction does not come off very well, then you think that me or that you?
Both of y'all got what? N in the name, the last name, so yeah.
Well, he was excellent. I mean, he did not bring God business here tonight.
And that is what I want to really clap for the guy. As a reverend, he stayed away from religion, And he answered the question as they were posed to him. It was only one time he made few references, but he didn't go any further. You know.
He did not bring our business here.
Great observation, Mr. Nuba. Great observation.
The first Bible that was taken to us in Africa, he did not talk about that. He talked about issues confronting Liberia. And when I was asking my question, I made mention of the Grand Renaissance Dam in Ethiopia. $5 billion that the people raised internally. Why we can't do that in Liberia? And here answer for that. And every, even though he didn't want to say tribe, he said ethnic group. Every tribe is divided in Liberia. When will we end the division? We don't have record keeping in the country. So, I think these are some of the things that we need. I mean, Rome was not built overnight. These are some of the things we need to work on. And I hope he will come back. I don't know, when is the conference. I don't know if that's September or when, but the return to Monrovia, I think, is usually in December. So we have to get some answers and see, if we can get on board, because everything that improves the lives of our people improves every district, every county in the Republic of Liberia. So I appreciate his appearance, and I think, share his contact information, and some of us on this forum, if not the whole forum, can make suggestions to his group as to how to improve conditions in Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nuba. Let's go to Veteran Smith.
Yes. A very good show. I hope you could have stayed much longer.
We're not closing. Just an overview of Dr. Donald.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. A good guest that we had, but it haven't been easy. Just how he had multiple titles. He traveled a lot. I've been working with him since last year. Couldn't get him. And for this time, he said, "You're going to get me." Do you know that we are the first group to interview him, although they just made the announcement, the second annual conference. It haven't started taking shape. All the members of the committee, we could get any one of them to come next. Madela Cooper is the vice chair. One of the, I think there are 2, 3, or 4 vice chair. She won. And the others that they are named on the committees. So we are the first he granted, because I've been behind him for quite a while. And he been so busy with other functions. And so he had to give it to me. So we stole the show. So the next time we get him, he will go more detailed into this coming. And usually it takes place in September. They always work it around when the president is coming to the how you call the United Nations, and so it will always be around that
The
time.
UN gathering.
The UN, yeah, the UN, yeah. So you either come during that time, either after the conference. Yes. And so it was good. Then he also hooked up with Leo. That's what I was concerned about. There were other people who hooked me up with him, but to have him, that if we want Leo, it's the Learning Center digital library for young people that and not too far from the Pingsway City Hall, somewhere around there, if you're in Monrovia. So I've been trying to get Leo, and so he said he would make it possible to have Leo as as our guest. So he's someone now I can look up to give me more feature guest team that we need. So you always need that contact. So I was happy for that. And he also mentioned that he want for us to do a survey to our radio station, which soon to get it together, they will give it to us. What we would like for this coming conference, so it can be on the agenda. So our listeners and like when Mr. Nemo suggested would be in place on the agenda what we want them to discuss, what would benefit, what they want from the diaspora. So they get these samples before the conference, and then it takes some of them to be part of the topics and agenda for this national annual planning committee of the annual diaspora conference. It will make them have guest speaker. So that's how they go about it. Get sample from people what they want to talk about, what should be discussed. So since we are the new platform on the block, he said he would like to hear from us, and he will give us information how we can channel that sample from our listener, what should be on the agenda. So that's what I gathered for him today. He talked on all issues, but the one that was so dearest to him, giving back to the undeserved community, that was the one I appreciate when someone gave back to the community. Scholarship, and my alma mater also, Lakiri, they're building another school in Popolu. So that got to my mind. That was news that I didn't know about. That a high school would be built in Popolu from something to high school. So that good news for the people in the county.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's go to Chris in the studio. Chris, what's your observation?
Okay. Thanks so much. Let me say thanks to every one of you. You know, I must appreciate our guest. He spoke lengthily and in response to all of our questions. But there's something he talked about that really grabbed when it comes to we the Liberian. We are very, in a simple way, we are very bad to each other. Like somebody is in the diaspora, especially we that are in Liberia. Somebody is in the diaspora, want to help you, and then you cook them. You don't care the struggle they are going through before they have the money, because they talk about the diaspora for them to raise the idea of people in the diaspora doing something special while the government are doing something, and then who will you trust? Yes. So there where he came about, he talked about changing minds and changing attitude. So it's up to we the Liberian to change our mind, to put away lies, and to start cooking our own brothers and sisters, to do business with our own brothers and sisters. Because if you go back from Lebanon, you're not going to keep the money in Liberia. You're going to take the money out. And you talk about that. So I look at that for long. I listened to that carefully. I said, it came to my mind. I said, yes, we the Liberian, we need to change, especially with that in life, because our brothers and sisters out there, they want to do something better in the country. But if they trust a family member, even somebody out of the family, they keep on doing the same thing over and over. But I appreciate him for having that man giving back to we the Liberian, bringing something to us, even bringing other good development, like he said, the school, the plan of making, people in the diaspora to also, vote. Yeah, because it's something that is good. Our brothers and sisters, they are out there, they plenty, and if they come up with that idea when it work, like Mr. Fred Veteran Smith said, that they're going to be given power, not the power of wanting to be a leader or wanting to get a power to do something, but the fact that it's going to make the people to say we have more voice, we have right when it comes to producing a leader. So that's one of the good things I love, and I enjoy that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Beautiful observation. Mr. Christopher J. Napier, what's your observation, sir?
Well, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think our guest did an excellent and very remarkable job. Wearing a number of hats and coming to us at this point in time when one of his colleagues failed us and who couldn't make time. I think that was magnanimous on his part. He talked about confidence or trust, and trust is border on behavior. It is difficult to rewind a man's behavior if you don't give him the leverage for the kind of tools that he needs. So that's why he talked about kept going to the schools, into the churches, and the government itself must be trustworthy. Don't say one thing and mean another thing. You talk about record keeping, digital record keeping. The United States of America has the Library of Congress. It keeps all its records. Besides that, it has an archive. So an archival system would do us more good, would give us the best. If we can have the electronic data keeping system brought into the archives, that will be for centuries, even while we are gone. And on the general note, he did well with a man who is wearing more than 4 different caps with the church, with the government, with the diaspora, and then engaging himself in other businesses. So I want to thank the veteran Smiths, our own veteran Smiths, for going out there consecutively bringing these distinguished personalities to speak to us about Liberia, because anything that is about Liberia matters much. And then the concession agreement, I thought you would have said that the Putu Mountains should be put a halt to, and all other concession agreements should be reviewed. But again, he was quick to point out that all concessions want to make profit, but you cannot make profit at the expense of the people. And I like that phrase that he rubbed in there. They cannot make profit at our expense. And I want to say this show was a very, 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 very remarkable show. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Napier. So for me, a couple of things that I picked up on from his presence here tonight. I think if those of us here in the diaspora were ever thinking about, or let's say on the fence, not too sure about whether or not to return home, I think Dr. Don presence here tonight softening that doubt. It gave us some, encouragement to maybe come closer to making that decision to return. Like I told him, I heard Minister Jackie McKay making that pronouncement in California during the president's recent visit. But they needed somebody like him who is on that team, who is the head of the team, to speak to us here in the diaspora and say, yes, I'm confirming that. That is true. If you're here in the diaspora and you want to return, talk to us. We do have some onboarding processes that we can put you through and make that process more convenient for you. And then he even went on to talk about what really, impressed me, to talk about having a website. I mean, this is where a lot of library entities don't understand the power of this information dissemination. You don't have to be there to be talking all the time to provide information. Sometimes allow these platforms to do the talking for you. So when he said we're going to have a website so that, you don't have to go to, like, for example, in the case of Mr. Nubo, you don't have to go to EPA. They say, hey, look at me. I'm a environmentalist, and this is what I do here in the diaspora for the city of Philadelphia. How can I come back home and help? You don't have to do that. He's saying there will be a website. You go there and you plug in your information, and they will, follow up with you from there. Any one of us here on the platform. For example, Mr. Veteran Smith. Hey, I have a long-standing career in journalism. How can I get ELBS? The Ministry of Information. These things, you, Mr. Nippy, I'm a diplomat. How can I join the diplomatic corps? Stuff like that. These things, he's saying, there will be website. You can go there, fill out your information, and somebody will follow up with you. This is how it is done here. You want a job, you don't got to go knock on somebody at the office door. No, you go on the computer website, or you go to the job platform, Indeed, Glassdoor, name it all. Indeed, what have you. You put the information, somebody see it. If you match the skill set that they want, boom, they call you up. And you'll begin the conversation. That's how these things work. We got to start adopting these things now, my people. It is only Mr. Dr. Dawn. I got to say this. I don't know this gentleman, never met him until tonight, that have come up and spoken like a true professional who has worked here or who is continuing to work here in the diaspora. And saying this, not just saying it, but telling you, giving you the practical, steps, what he's going to do to make this happen. All of our people are going to drink the water and they forget everything to learn here. Everything to learn here, they forget about it. They become even worse than the people on the ground. But Dr. Dawn is departing from that. Hopefully, all the people that he got working with him will be just like him. They will not undermine him. They will follow his leadership, because I think he's on the track to get this thing really, really done. If they give him the chance, I think he's going to get lots of Liberians back home. A lot of Liberians are going to go back home. And I'm not just any Liberian, professional Liberians who are even actively working here, but want to return, but want to give back. And I was going to come to the point, I know somebody, Mamiata in the comment section asked that question about how can we, diaspora Liberian get involved in the economy, especially in the case of Putu, so they don't remain spectator. Then he mentioned, a very critical point there that certain percentage, he's asking for 20%, to be set aside for Liberians. Now, I was going to ask him, what do you mean? Is it the entire population, or is this for the diaspora population? But I think that is brilliant. Again, but I will go beyond that. I will ask for the country, the country, taking an ownership, and then that ownership can be controlled, can be passed down on to a management company to be able to manage that. That's what I would do. And then we in the diaspora can be able to buy share. I would even support individual going to go buy share, in this case, from the company, from the government. Let the government set up a management entity, maybe, Liberia, whatever, corporate management, something like that. And then they can be able to float the shares with a common share, a preferred share, and then people can buy into it, at a certain price cap. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. But that is brilliant. These are things that we need to sit down and talk about. Most of the guys in work here, they don't want to do it. When they get to Liberia, everything is gone. Everything. I mean, I can call so many memes here. People who were sitting with you, y'all was chill. Y'all talk all the beautiful talk. When they get to Liberia, first of all, they don't even want to answer your call no more. They don't even come to talk to you. When they come, even to come back to America to see their families, you call in, they tell you they're busy. They don't want to talk. That is the discouraging part about it. And it's very refreshing to see somebody like Dr. Don, who is heading the diaspora. And I'm glad, you see, he mentioned a lot of people here. He talked about the IG. He talked about some of them important name he called again tonight. Someone that he talked to. Oh, yeah, the Minister of State, Yes. So these are people. So it lets me know that, he is actually giving access. He has access. So whatever he's saying here tonight, he's actually doing it, because not everybody gets access to these people. And the fact that he have access to these people really opens up, those of us in the diaspora to engage with him more. Because whatever he tells him, it's going to get to the people who needs to hear it. But that's just my observation. I thought it was a beautiful show. First of all, I gotta say it to you. My man is very active in the comment section today, Mr. Nuba. She said you had nothing to.
Mamiata is on me.
Yeah, she on you today. I'm glad you've seen that.
I am not here. I'm not trying. I'm moving to and I'm not begging for job. I'm not. I want to fix Liberia. It's not to say that I don't have a job here and I want to go to Liberia to get a job. I am qualified, marketable. And that message should go to Mamiata.
I'm sure Mamiata is listening.
Mamiata, I know she's listening. I know she's listening, and that message must go to her. I am qualified, marketable, civil engineer, environmental engineer. How good can I be? And the next time we have Dr. Dunn here, I'm going to question him about technology. STEM education in Liberia. How can we do that? Most of the politicians, they did liberal arts courses. Some of them are not even qualified. And they became politicians. And when you in the diaspora speak, they feel that you want their jobs, like job security for them. So I'm not part of that.
Okay.
Most of the people in the House, in the Senate, they do not have any profession that they will go to when they are out of office today.
Okay.
So let the message go to Mamiata. Thank you.
Well, Mamiata keep blasting you in the comment section. I can tell you that. She responded to you.
I know.
You see, you got nothing to differ about tonight, so forget it. But yeah, in the last
Mr. Minutes, I wanted to add that for the meantime, he didn't mention LRA, who collect taxes. So if you're a Liberian who want to go and you contact the LRA, they will give you some duty free if you tell them in advance that you're moving to Liberia. I had so many people who were moving and they went through LRA, but you have to go through LRA and tell them you're a Liberian, you're ready to go home, and they will give you some duty free costs to bring your costs down. But you have to do it in advance. Don't wait until you get to Liberia, then you say you want it. You have to do it maybe so many months in advance. I just wanted to share that information.
Okay. I mean, that's a great information. I also going to come to that as well. But since we have you, let me just come to you, Mr. Veteran Smith. He talks about the issue of trust. And I really want us to talk about it. And he said it correctly. Every one of you on the platform, in one way or the other, have experienced some level of distrust with our people. Mr. Smith, what's your take on that? Have you,
Chris, please mute yourself.
Is that Chris? No, Mr. Veteran Smith. He too can give a feedback. But let me just go to him. My question is already ready for you anyway. On the issue of trust, talk to us, Mr. Smith. What do you say about the trust and what he said about it?
I think it's something embedded in our society, a culture. And the sooner we get it out of our culture, society, family, and other norms in our society will become better. Because there's a saying that a stranger you don't know in times of need, they will come to your aid better than the people who you know. But it's something in our society. First, we look at our inner circle first, the family. Then we look at our ethnic group first. And then we look at all the other. When they let you down, then you finally come to the stranger for help or assistance. And I know how we can get rid of it from our society. But I think the sooner we get rid of it from our society, it will become better. That you will have trust in everybody, regardless of what happened in the past. You have to put that out of the door and let people show you the true color, who they are. Then you can hold them accountable. But don't look at it first, or I will deal with my ethnicity, or I will deal with my family people, or I will deal with my classmate, or I will look at people as individuals that you can work with, form partnership with. Until they show you the true color, then you have the right to say, I'm not going to this person, or I'm not going to deal with this person. But don't do it like the way we did it in the past.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Let me come to you, Mr. Nippet. And I have this question. I want before you answer, let me just post the question and then you can come into that. On it seems your trust. Would you agree? This is what I'll advocate on the CDC. Would you agree, or do you buy into the idea that we open now that we have the diaspora? I think it was a commission or something. I don't know how to call themselves, but it's a diaspora commission. I think that's who they are. Should we have an office? Should we have an office that directly deals with various engagement? For example, a lot of us here in the diaspora deal with stuff concerning real estate. We want to build a house, and that's what we get duped, right? We send money for put a bill our little Congo there, and they duped us. Should the government take a proactive step? I'm giving you my own policy approach here now. Should the government take a step and say, I, as a government, will step in here that if you are investing anything above $10,000, I will pick up that tab and make sure that your investment goes to where you wanted to go. In the case that money gets misused, I will refund you. Something like an FDI, the government deposit insurance. I will step in and make sure that you are refunded in full. What do you think that would do to investment flow from here?
Well, I have to be very, very careful because if you listen to Dr. Dunn, he said the government itself has to be trustworthy. And trust is a character business. It's hinged on a person's character, ability to be trustworthy. It's a behavioral problem. And the government is an institution. The president will not be the one to say, I guarantee that. There will be people who say they will guarantee it. And it will not be like Wall Street, where the person has his money, invests his money in a certain commodity and the price goes up and down, he can get some dividend. If that office were to be open, you'll find that the individual in charge or the individuals who will be in charge will use that as a way of taking the money that they call in Liberia, say, sepe, take and then you pay later. But if some guarantee by a bank can be made, that the bank tells you, say, all right, you want to invest $10,000 or $20,000, put the money in X bank. When you come to Liberia, the money will be transferred, such that gives you a fair leverage on your funds as to putting it in government place. Mind you, though, the people are crying in Monrovia already that some police officers have not been paid.
Well, Mr. Nippy, let me engage you on that. Let me engage you.
Yeah.
Let me engage you. A bank can go bust. We know that. On the other hand, a government can never go bust.
Let me bring you back to why I'm saying that. During the Samuel K. Doe tenure, because one of the one of our government employees and civil servants to get some incremental benefits, we all had saving bonds. To this day, government has continuity. You think if the government will be generous, fair, trustworthy, to say, oh, in the year so Samuel K. Doe brought about the saving bonds. And all persons who work with government and work with public corporations had a saving bond. If I were to say, okay, I worked with LPMC from 1977 to 1980, come 1980, we had a scheme of saving bond. I want all the accumulated, my principal and the accumulated interest to the bond. To redeem my bond, the government will tell me, say, well, where is the certificate? Where is the certificate? And because the certificate is not available, there will be no evidence. Even though up to today's date, I have my 2 LPMC ID cards. My insurance ID card, I have it now in my pocket. And I have my employee ID card. If I were to present those 2 instruments, government will not look on the strength of those 2 instruments, even though the current president is fully aware that we did obtain saving bonds. Government will say, well, I say you don't got a saving bond now. And so we'll be in the Ministry of Finance. We say, well, I say you don't got a copy of the saving bond, you cannot get any money. So that's why I'm saying, contingent on what Reverend Dr. Don said, that the institution itself, the driving vehicle itself, must be trustworthy before you put yourself in that car. And the government comprises who? Individuals. Who will guarantee that money when you say the government will be the Ministry of Finance or the central bank?
Yeah, but before I leave you, Mr. Nippet, I'm saying it's a guarantee. Because if the government, like for example, the FDR here, the government said you got every bank will hold 10% or every deposit that come into your bank. If that bank go bust, the government will pay you through that FDR.
But that's my point.
Insurance. So what I'm saying is, if we say you're the diaspora, you want to come back, okay. We are saying if you want to spend $10,000 here, we the government will be your backstop. In other words, we'll be a quarterback for you, the American men say. We will quarterback that $10,000 for you. Nothing will go wrong. If something goes wrong, we will refund you 100% of that $10,000. I am saying that is the kind of insurance that we need.
Yeah, but
Money to flow out of the diaspora, even triple that, to go into various industries in Liberia.
I agree with you. You need insurance and you need assurance. From whom do you get the insurance and the assurance? It is the government of Liberia through its institutions, the Central Bank of Liberia and or the Finance Ministry. So I brought to your attention a classical case. And if you were in conversation with the president will tell you, yes, he himself obtained a saving bond. But can the government now give you the accumulative benefit of the saving bond? I'm saying no. And what will it say? They'll say, where is your saving bond certificate? The government will not be magnanimous to understand that for some more than 14 years, there was war. We fought civil war. They will be looking for evidence. And I digressed and told you I have two instruments. I have my insurance ID card and I have my what? My employment ID card. Will it not suffice if the government were to be good to say, yes, this man has evidence. He works us on so time. During this particular time, we had the saving bond scheme, so we can pay him. But they'll say, well, if we pay you now, we'll not be able to pay some of the people are dead. So your question's answer is, if the government works it through a bank of its choice, the central bank too, and the Ministry of Finance comes in, and they provide you that guarantee, it is doable.
Okay. Let me hold you there, Mr. Nubi. At this point, this is the crossfire. You can come in if you want to differ. Anyone can do that.
I have my hand up.
Go ahead, Mr.
I have my finger up.
Were you in the classroom?
No, just saying that the person will allow you to come in.
Or I beg to differ or forum. My hand is up.
Go ahead.
I stated that one of the things that made me happy about Dr. Dunn's presentation was the measure of the Renaissance done, Renaissance or dam in Ethiopia. This is an entity. And in Liberia, most of the places where we get betting, that for our own private homes. You are here, you're sending money to your relatives, this and that. Why we cannot establish diaspora engineering fund? Register with the government. And I just number want to build a kitchen in Bololu. I spend my money and they don't build it. That organization can be sued. And that's the time the government will come in. So the Renaissance thing, it was not, we send remittances. No, I was send $100 to my family, and they give it to the Renaissance Dawn family or organization. No, it was organized. It has record. So we stay trying to do things the way we used to do them. I mean, I work with in Atlanta. I work with an organization, the retail organization. Our assistant manager for 8 years, and all the close out at the end of the day. We did a close out, and that cash information, we kept it for the city of Atlanta, because the auditors will come. Now we're in the digital age. I'm Lebanese man running a building construction material store in Painsbury. At the end of the day, I do the closeout. That information is supposed to be transmitted to the city of Painsbury automatically. But they don't do that. They have two books. If you want to receive, they record it in a different book, and they record something else in another book for the auditors for the city. So I feel that the speaker, our guest speaker, is heading in the right direction, and he needs our advices. But I feel that Honorable Nippy want it to be business as usual, and that's why I said I beg to differ.
You missed my point. You missed my point.
We have to be.
No, let me interject, please. You missed my point. I'm not talking about business as usual.
No.
Yeah, but I'm interjecting. You have to give me time.
You don't even need to interject.
Why?
Because I have the flow and I have the authority to allow you to interject.
Oh, no.
If I do not allow you
No, you don't do like that.
No.
No, Mr. Newell, if he wants to interject, you got to allow him to interject. Then you get
exactly.
It back.
No. He was on the floor for maybe 30 minutes.
No.
And I did not come to interject.
No, but you brought something against me.
I'm on the floor, and he wants to interject.
You say I want to do business as usual. So that's what the interjection is all about.
This is crossfire now. He's allowed to do that.
Okay, let me go ahead.
It's unfortunate that you say that I want to make business as usual. Perhaps you didn't understand what I meant, my train of thought. What I said was, the government must guarantee. So if the government must guarantee, that will not be business as usual. And then I informed you and the listening audience that in 1980, all employees, public corporation and civil servants were made to take a saving bond that would have accrued interest plus the principal. Today, the government cannot be magnanimous to say yes. In 1980, there was a saving bond scheme. All public corporations and government employees were mandated to take the saving bond based on your salary. I qualified that statement by
But
evidence.
let me ask you a question, Mr. Nippet.
Mm-hmm.
Did you formally go back to the government of Liberia and say, here are my documents. You guys owe me this money, and I need to be, made whole?
The question cannot be answered that if I went to the government should be magnanimous. And I made a point that even the current president of the Republic of Liberia, maybe George Weah didn't know anything about it because he was right in Clarita and he didn't know anything about it. But Mrs. Sirleaf knows about it. President Sirleaf knows about it.
Well, how can we say that if they can be magnanimous enough to come back to you and say, okay, we have this going, but you assuming that they know. I'm saying you have to be proactive and say, hey, look at man, you guys owe me. There's the government, not your, but the government of Liberia owe me, and I want to be paid back. Did you make that effort? Or are you assuming they're supposed to take that step?
Well, the question should not be asked me.
Why?
Because
you're making an accusation.
No. Transparency in governance is what matters. If they could not pay Mrs. Doe her money up to her debt, will they pay me my money? Mrs. Doe. I'm coming.
No, I want to look at timeline. Let's look at timeline.
Mrs. Doe went to ECOWAS.
What timeline are we talking about with your savings bond?
We're talking from 1980.
Okay. So let me be frank now, Mr. Nippet. We're talking 1980. We went to a brutal civil war that destroyed even the fly that was on the ground. Is our walking the ground, they survived our war. We are back now. I think you have to give the government the benefit of the doubt and say,
that's what I said. That's what I said.
Did you approach them about it? Did you approach them? That's what I'm saying.
Many people did. We went to the Ministry of Finance several times. The Ministry of Finance said they had no record. Because during a certain minister's tenure, the records on the 12th or 14th floor was gutted by fire. But then we said, here are our ID cards. And government is continuity. And everybody in Liberia knows about the saving bond.
And did you sue? Did you go through litigation to be made whole?
We did not go into a joint litigation because we knew that they would come up with this war happened in the country, and all records were burned. And that you have your ID card does not justify the fact that the government ever had a saving bond scheme, and that matter will be thrown out of court.
No, I don't think it will be thrown out of court based on the fact that the government had shown you that this savings bond will be paid. Look, there are people that hold bonds from since the 1800s, and they still get paid today. So no government on earth will ever throw a bond outside a court.
Maybe it's something.
It will be destroying their own credibility. Reminder: everything is based on faith and the credit worthiness of that entity. You say this is your bond. I stand by it. Take it. Give me your money, and come back whenever you want to cash it, and I will pay you. And then the time comes, you go back and say, "Oh no, I'm sorry. I created a war in my country. I destroyed everything myself, so I don't owe you no more." And
they ask you, where's your saving bond certificate? And you don't have it.
But you do have records.
Where are the records?
But when you say you have records.
I have my 2 ID cards.
Oh, no, but that's not enough. You should have some records, though.
But how can I have records when all the records were gotten by
your bond certificate I was given to you when you purchased the bond.
Hey. I just told you about the Ministry of Finance story. The Ministry of Finance was twice gutted by fire. 2 times.
No, but what is your record, Mr. Nippy?
I got a record. I got a record to prove that I was employed.
No,
I don't have the savings bond. That's what I'm saying.
You purchased a savings bond. Do you have any record to show that, hey, I purchased the $10 saving bond in 1980?
Yeah.
And this is how much it was today.
But Mr. Wright, You just said that you should give the government the benefit of the doubt.
Mhm.
The
No, but you're
context.
accusing the government. That's what I'm saying. Let's give
No,
them-
I'm not accusing the government. I'm just bringing information forward to give you a reason why, if that money was missing, you will not be able to recover it. And I also went forward and said there should be a guarantee telling you to put it in an A, B, or C bank. And I said the institution that should be able to back up the government will be Ministry of Finance and the central bank. In the case that the diaspora or anybody in the diaspora, because you brought in a hypothetical case where you mentioned $10,000 to build your house. And Mr. Nubo said a kitchen. So if you wanted to build a house, a kitchen, or a palace, and the government has no guarantee, you are left with no other option but to go to a relative or a friend, who again, given the vacuum of non-credibility, you have a problem.
Okay.
Because if the person eats your money, where do you go? If your cousin eats your money, it becomes a family affair. And that's why I'm saying there must be an institution that interacts with the government of Liberia via is a qualified agency. Then the $10,000, you'll be sure that if you go to Liberia, your $10,000 will be there in the bank A, bank B, or the central bank. That's the point I was making. So I'm not talking about business as usual.
Okay.
I'm against anything that has a semblance to or of business as usual.
All righty. In the last 6 minutes we have, I'm going to give everybody 2 minutes to close up. Let's go to, I'm going to end with you.
Mr. Nubo will take all the 6 minutes.
No. Everybody going to go 2 minutes, Zach. I'm going to end with you, Chris, in the studio, then you send home.
No. It's not even fair because Mr. Nippy alone has taken 45 minutes.
Look at you.
Okay.
45 minutes.
I just spoke in less than 3 minutes. He said 45.
No, less than 3 minutes. 45 minutes.
Okay.
I was listening, or I was moving around, and listening to you.
Okay.
And I don't know, no, what kind of control you are giving to the
Okay, Mr. Nubo.
co-host.
Let me go to Mr. Fresh with a close up. Okay, right. Mr. Fred, the veteran speak. Your 2 minute closing, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate the National Police Chief and the men of the National Police for the good report from the 2026 World International Security and Police Index, WISPI. According to the latest report, the LIPC is ranked 10th best police institution in Africa and 70 globally, reflecting steady progress in the institutional reform and service delivery. I just want to give the National Police full credit. Their rank was way up, and now they have brought it down. Sometimes we don't give credit to our National Police force. So I just, in my closing remark, I just want to give them credit. On future show, we will talk about the ranking, but I just want to do it today.
Okay, thank you. I want to make one recommendation to you. Why don't we try to get the AC, I don't know, it's ACD,
Administration.
the ACP, yes, so that we can congratulate him formally on our show. Please, let's do that. Please.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. But I'm with you, definitely with you. Let's come to you, Mr. Nippet, to get your 2 minute closing, sir.
Well, I want to step my brakes on the accommodation because just on Spoon Talk last night, they were saying that they had to pull that information down, being the 10th in Africa and 70, as he just said. So I want to hold my commendation. Two, I want to commend Reverend Dr. Dunn for the able manner that he was able to present and articulate the information and the questions that were posed to him. Three, I want to commend Chris in the studio and you, our co-host or host, Mr. Noble, and the panelists, and the listening audience to say thank you so much. It's been a wonderful day, and everything we did today surrounding the questions and the answer were indeed excellent. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nip. And I'm with you. I can assure our listening public, the guests that come in on the show will only just continue to be quality ones and top of the lines. Not to look down anybody, but I think we do have a very formidable cast of panelists here. And whenever our guests show up, they love it, and the interaction always blow them out of the park. And that's why they always want to they commit themselves to the platform. And so we're going to do more of that. Thank you, Mr. Nippy. Mr. Noble, your 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Let me show my face first.
I went 30 seconds.
Yes, you did. I want to agree with you.
I went 30 seconds and I said 4 things. So let me see how you do yours.
I'm not the people that go all around the world.
Okay, let's go.
to utter one word.
Okay.
And I beg to differ with Veteran Smith about the award to the police. And it's good to hear that I know they have to take the information down.
Well, this is why it makes it very important for us to get. Hold on, Mr. Nubo, I want to support you. This is why it is important, and I will get the ACP on the show. Verify that information. What I want to say.
That was Spoon Talk Show said.
Is it within my 2 minutes?
No. This is not. I'm just chipping in. Go ahead.
Okay.
You got 20 seconds.
No. I got 2 minutes. This coma man, a truck ran into people, and Como cleared the truck. Say that was a break issue. The auditors, Como said that was normal death. Even this man from internal audit, Como said it was natural death. So Como is compromised. And I don't see how he will be given a award by the international by an international body. Is it paid for? I remember when Anna Connor was finance minister. He was considered the best finance minister in Africa. So these awards are Mango awards. I don't think that people should come on the show here and be bragging about them, including Veteran Smith.
All right.
They people did not. My 2 minutes out over here now. You say all right.
You're
Yeah,
2 minutes over.
I tell you, I love
Got
that.
That's the longest 2 minutes in the Guinness Book of Records.
Who was keeping the time? Who was keeping the time?
Me, your host.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right, I want to say more now. Give it to Chris, and then Chris will send her home. Thank you to our very formidable and well-rounded guest that showed up tonight. And I want to follow in the footsteps of Mr. Nipe to thank our veteran Smith for doing all the hard work in the morning, in the day, in the evening, and to try to get these people to bring them on the show. We appreciate your work and your dedication, Mr. Smith. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the Top FM staff and everybody, and Chris here spending his time, and I know he alternating with Alex. I don't know who they're going to give us, but I've been asking them to give us somebody permanent. But they're going to give. I know they're working on it. Your management team working on it, Chris. But if it's you, that's good. If it's Alex, that's also good. But you've been filling in very, very amicably, and we appreciate your time on the show. On that note, I want to say good night to everyone, and I will hand you over to Chris. Chris, say your own name. You can get close up, sir. Hold on.
Okay, let me say thank you to Veteran Smith and Mr. Nimbo and also Mr. Nipe. You guys, my father, and also the co-host. I'd like to say thank you very much.
Hold on. You talking
no, I say every one of you are mine.
Okay, but nice moment.
No, no. I can't argue that.
Go ahead.
So I'd like to say thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for the program. The program is a very good program that educating our people. It left with us as a Liberian to learn from the program and change our minds and our attitude. My name is Chris Beware. I'd like to say bye-bye. Have a great time.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for the night. What I'll listen.
Thank you, Chris. A hand salute to all of our people. Bye for now.
All right. Bye, Veteran Smith. Bye, Mr. Nipe. Bye, Mr. Noble. Same time.
The same to Noble. Just no more would talk for 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
30 seconds.
Before we go, hold on. Mr. Veteran Smith, who get it tomorrow? I don't get it tomorrow.
Who
getting tomorrow?
Tomorrow, two things will happen. Two good story. The audio. You're gonna cut on the microphone.
Please.
Two good story we couldn't use tonight because we have Mr. Don. For the first time, we have a Liberian ambassador or diplomat went to the Italian parliament. I think it's on our page. And the way he spoke to this Italian parliament, I just thought it couldn't be the government approving, Burka government approving the way they talk. But the way they talk, that's how all our diplomats should talk when they go to international partnership, talk on behalf of our people. So I want us to play that audio and to comment on it tomorrow. That's one good thing because it's very powerful. And they talk about the migrant going to the Atlantic Ocean or other ocean to get to Italy. So the representative of Liberia spoke that if you were giving a fair share of the concession agreement and other things, treating us well in our contract, most of our people will not go across the ocean for better living, will provide jobs. And I said, is that guy a Liberian talking or someone there forcing him to talk? But if you listen to the audio, very powerful audio. So I don't know what will come out of that audio, but I want for us to discuss it. And then secondly, I want to bring someone to talk about the rest agreement. I send President Burka is back. I work on it. I've been on it. It's just that the person who's going to talk. I know the band's sick, but I think tomorrow, if we don't get it, then we'll chew on this information that I just talked about.
Okay.
About
you.
that would be powerful.
It just hit my mind. Chris, I'll let you go. But let me say this before I let you go. Councilor Gonglo did reply to the email I sent him. He apologized very, very profusely to the platform and to the panelists for not showing up last night. I wanted to say this to you before I make contact with him again. Since we don't have a guest tomorrow, I want to reach out to him and see if he's available to come in tomorrow. I want to say on live camera before we go. But he has apologized for not showing up. And this is what he said. He said, "Forgive me, Mr. Wright. I am a BBT, born before technology." So he had problem getting on the platform last night. This is why he didn't show up. So we're going to try everything. I know he did call Mr. Nuba as well. He mentioned Mr. Nuba in the email to me. So we're going to try to reach out to him tomorrow. If he has the time, we'll hope that he shows up tomorrow because we do have an open slot tomorrow. And then we can even bring that thing that Mr. Fred is talking about, whoever the diplomat is, so that he can be able to respond to that as well. So I just want to see that to you guys.
5 seconds. Due courtesy matters. Due courtesy matters. When you are invited somewhere and you're not going, you have to let the people know. You don't wait until they contact you. No, it's not. It is not part of us. It's civil courtesy. Due courtesy matters. He could have gotten to Mr. Nuba, who called him 3 times. He could have gotten to Mr. Smith. He could have gotten to you when he could not, due to constraints. But to come is to be later. But let him come tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll try.
If he can come,
we'll see if we can get him. We'll try.
Let me come in.
Quickly, Mr.
Let me come in first. Send my name.
Okay, guys. Okay, I apologize. We can't do a whole show.
Let me come in first, Mr. Nipe.
It got to be very 30 seconds, Mr. Nuba, please. 30 seconds.
Few weeks ago, I sent the direct number to Archie, to Councilor Gonglo. And then when the arrangement was made through third party by Veteran Smith. So Councilor Gonglo got to go through the third party, and the third party get back to to Veteran Smith, and Veteran Smith got to us. And last night, Veteran Smith unceremoniously, disappeared. So we didn't know what was going on. So we have to refine how these arrangements are made. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great. 30 seconds, Veteran Smith, please.
Mr. Nemo interview me. Then he talk about interview to come bring it a year. So let me be fair. Bring it a year. What happened is that, and I think Mr. Ray, you said the right thing. We accept the apology because he just don't know about internet service, and that was his problem. Because part of it, the first time I brought it to your attention, but because we're in 2 different studios.
Do not put a spin on it. That's a spin right there.
Mr. Krumah was in one studio with me. And he called.
No, that's a spin. That's a spin.
No, but listen now. Yeah, listen to me now. And the special assistant is not in there assistant.
No, nothing to do with that.
No, because we always go through the same problem. It's not only him. Another feature girl will go through they will ask you for Facebook. They will ask you to go through all of that. The only mistake the special assistant made was that the second time around, after he told us that he was in the studio and nobody was accepting him to come in, that's the time was in another studio with Mr. Krumah, and he was training the other guys to be, and Mr. Wright was in another studio. So that was
So
the
you
first
failed. So you
attempt.
failed. So that
So
means
the
you failed to
second
answer the
attempt, the second
phone
attempt
call.
was that we called back to tell him to try again, because at that time Mr. Wright was in the right studio, and that's what happened. And then there were no call back. So that's what
Yeah.
happened. That
Okay.
what happened with the technical problem.
Oh, okay.
We were in two different studios. I
That is
was
what
in
So
that studio myself. Yeah, I was in that studio myself.
that's an imperfect spinning.
that order
Anyway,
right there.
Archie,
It's
maybe
no,
we
Mr.
will go
Dugo.
off line or
Yeah,
before
Mr. Dugo, we gotta
continue.
go. We gotta go. We gotta
Yeah.
go. Thank you very much, Chris. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. I think we'll talk tomorrow. We gotta have a call tomorrow. I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.